welcome to our podcast. My name is Karina Indah Berliana Sibuea, and my team are Febrina Surbakti, Gabriel Antony, Shanika Limbong, Kiersten Gabriel Sihaloho, and Marganda Sinambela. And right now we are going to talk about the corruption of Juliari Batubara.
On Monday, August 23, 2021, former Minister of Social Affairs Juliari Batubara was sentenced to 12 years in prison for being proven guilty of committing a criminal act of corruption in the COVID-19 social assistance case. The decision was read out in court by the Corruption Court Judge. The trial was chaired by M. Damis at the Central Jakarta District Court. Indonesian Corruption Watch researcher Kurnia Ramadan urged that Juliari be sentenced to life imprisonment. There are four arguments presented by Kurnia. First, Juliari committed a crime while holding a position as a public official. Second, the practice of COVID-19 social assistance bribery was carried out in the midst of pandemic. Third, when reading the plea, Juliari didn't admit what he had done. In fact, said Kurnia, two other suspects, Ardian and Hari, had been legally and convincingly proven to have bribed Juliari. Fourth, the heavy sentence for Juliari will send a strong message to other public officials not to engage in corrupt practice amid the COVID-19 pandemic. As we know, Indonesia has been trapped in corruption case for decades that ensnared high-ranking officials and state officials. In your opinion, as a law student in a country that's so normal or not?
If we're talking about our country, this problem is not that surprising. We don't have to see a law student to talk about his, because even as an ordinary citizen, we knew corruption is not something that really happens. This is probably become part of our culture.
Agree, but as common as this is for the people of Indonesians, corruption is still a behavior that violates the law. Especially like the case we are discussing this time, where the corruption occurring in social assistance funds for the community in means of the COVID-19 outbreak. I think the perpetrator has gone too far.
My question is, in your opinion, for door of corruption, what is the most appropriate punishment?
To be completely honest myself, the most appropriate punishment was the penalty, because it is clear how many parties are harmed and tormented as a result of criminal acts of corruption committed by just one person. Seeing the many perpetrators of corruption in Indonesia, the death penalty can provide a deterrent effect and fear for those involved, and even those who intend to commit corruption.
Well, I think I can agree with the death penalty. It'll scare them. But I have another point from my view that I would like to point out, that it is enough for the perpetrators of the corruption to be imprisoned and get fined in accordance with the existing regulation, but only if the amount of money that they corrupted is a small amount of money. I don't even think there's need for jail or even death penalty if they corrupted small amount of money, because imprisoning someone also requires tax fund, which is taken from people taxes again. I mean, it's kind of not worth it, because in the end they will become more burden on the state, more burden on us again and again.
So in this case, JT, the perpetrator of corruption, had asked the judge to be released from the charge. Juliari asked the panel of judges to acquit him of all charges in the COVID-19 social assistance corruption case. He said that the verdict of the panel of judges could free him and his family from suffering. "End our suffering by freeing me from all charges," said Juliari in the defense memorandum or pledoi, which was read out at the Jakarta Corruption Court Monday, August 9, 2021. Juliari said his family suffered because they were humiliated and insulted for something they didn't understand. The storm of hatred and blasphemy will end depending on the decision of the panel of the judges. said the PDIP politician. He said he regret causing trouble to many parties because of this matter. Therefore, my petition, my wife request, my two young children's request, and my extended family's request to be noble panel of judges, he said. So what's your response?
Wow, a very understandable request from a perpetrator of corruption. Yes, of course, I can be like that. I think GB should be sentenced to live imprisonment because first, Juliari committed a crime while holding a position as a public official. The second, the practice of COVID-19 social assistance bribery was carried out in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah. Plus, at the time of reading the plea, Juliari did not admit that he had done the corruption, even though the other two suspects, Ardian and Hari, have been legally proven to have bribed Juliari. And lies like that should not let slip away.
Well, I think that the reason for reducing Juliari's sentence in the varies by the panel of judges is fair venture. In my opinion, the insights given by Society are reasonable. That keen expression is such a natural thing considering the impact caused by the corrupt practice of the former Ministry of Social Affairs.
The practice of bribery was consciously carried out by Juliari, made to collapsing health and economic condition of the people due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The insults towards Juliari are not comparable to the suffering that the community feels due to the difficulty in obtaining social assistance caused by the action of the former Minister of Social Affairs and his corner.
So, this is the result of the judge's decision. Juliari was proven to have violated Article 12 letter B in conjunction with Article 18 or Article 11 in conjunction with Article 18 of the Corruption Eradication Law in conjunction with Article 55 paragraph 1 of the First Criminal Code in conjunction with Article 64 paragraph 1 of the First Criminal Code. In this case, Juliari, as the Indonesian Minister of Social Affairs at that time, was found guilty of receiving 1.28 billion from Hari Vansidabuke, 1.65 billion, 29.252 billion from several other goods providers. And our interview has come to an end. For your attention, we would like to say thank you very much. Hope we'll meet again in another chance. See you!